Can you give me just like 3 minutes? Who is Andreas Weber?
That's a good question. I'm asking this question every day to myself. Yeah. You know what? When I was really young, 14 years old, I got in touch with the graphic art side of printing. So I became, as a teenager, a teacher for kids, educating them how to do uh, uh, hand printing. So, and that was fascinating. And later on, I was fascinated by publishing my first article for a book and to see it printed. And when I was a young student, I worked for a big printing company for many years. And then I decided not to follow the topic of my studies, which was history of art. I switched to the communication business with a focus on print. Uh, and that was fascinating because I had this practical experience for many years. Any kind of print shop, I was able to manage and to create the production concepts and so on. And all of a sudden, I became an editor for Polygraph magazine, which was the leading magazines in the 80s and early 90s. And then a headhunter came and took me to Agfa Compugraphic, and I became a marketing manager on the industry side. So I had in a early phase before I became professional, so many different experience, and print is wonderful because print connects. Uh, so the way when you are a good print producer, it's all about having a good communication to involve all the different parties to get a print job done, from the customer side to those side who recept the printed piece at the end of the day. And that was so interesting. And after my industry experience, I decided to found my own businesses,
Hmm.
and I became an entrepreneur. I founded half a dozen different companies, and the focus I got more and more was the focus of an analyst who is also able to publish, because
That
as an
is.
analyst, yeah, as an analyst, you are really, you can see what is in the future, but you are not allowed to talk about it. But you have to prepare your audience what will come without sharing all the secrets. And that
Mm.
was a good training for many years. And I'm still in that business, and I comment on everything. If people like it or don't like it, I don't care. Yeah. So I really observe, I monitor, and that's interesting. And therefore, Drupa is a very important part of my life and my business.
Um, when I got to know you years ago now, it was also because it was in the COVID, and we started talking about many different topics basically. And one of the things that, and the reason why I asked you to participate in these pre-Drupa events is because you're totally right that one of the things that you are good at is both the analyzing part of it, but you also you're not afraid of opinionating it. And I think that, I don't know about you, but I think that this industry can only get stronger if we are also able to talk about the, let's say, more negative things, and basically have an open discussion, because it's part of the democracy that we can discuss things, but it's also part of business development, that you can say that, okay, this is good, let's emphasize this is bad, let's get less of this. You have written a series on LinkedIn called Qua Vadis Drupa, or Quo Vadis Drupa. Can you tell me a little bit about it? Because it's a combination of a journey for you, but it's also about having views on different kind of topics during that journey, right?
Yeah. So I got this idea because let's call it the advanced communication for Drupa is very important. Yeah. So not only start with the day first of Drupa to communicate about the beauty of Drupa and also the challenge behind Drupa. And therefore, I decided to make a mix, a lot of short stories, not very long. I call them episodes. And Quo Vadis is my background as art historians is always Latin, yeah. And that's a good format for me to share my experience and also my observation, and to start discussions. And I'm very happy that many thousands of print professionals and others uh, are uh, are reading my stories and more respond to that. And this is a form of dialogue we need, to talk not only about topics, to talk about positioning, observations, opinion, and also critical questions. I think in our industry, we have not enough critical questions. We always believe what somebody is promising, and
Yeah.
that's not good.
We don't have so much time here today, unfortunately. But one thing I would like you to, because you also written about that, because I was a little funny comment as well. But it is like one of the slogans of the Drupa is that we create the future, and I don't believe that Drupa is
Yeah.
creating the future. What is your opinion about that?
Yeah, so I just made a separate post and updated it this morning. And because you cannot create the future, as a human being, maybe you can a little bit influence what will happen in the future with your behavior today. That's what you can do. But no organization, no company is able to create the future. The future is coming on its own. So, and much better would be something like to create more confidence for the future. That would be a good slogan.
But
Not we create the future. It's so generic,
yeah.
and at least it makes no sense because
I would
you,
say
you,
that
you
the reason why I was hesitant to it is because I think that if you exaggerate it, and I don't underestimate the work that goes into creating such a large event as Drupa, but I'm just saying that what really makes Drupa interesting is not the frame but the content of it, and that is in this
yeah.
case about 1,400 something different vendors that are bringing their products and service and engineering power and marketing power to Düsseldorf. And I think that is maybe, and that's why I was a little bit hesitant when I saw it. And then I saw your article and I just said, okay, I was not the only one that was questioning that, because basically there's so many sides to it, I would say, right? So I think it's more important. The vendors and the exhibitors are more important than Drupa in that relation, at least, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And when you go back for the history of Drupa for more than 50 years, uh, the main part of the history of Drupa was Drupa, a platform for what we call genre marketing or generic marketing for print. And since the year 2000, it switched to become a pure technology show.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you have a different Drupa. And I think today we need more, again, this old version of Drupa to create a generic marketing for the whole industry. And then we have to balance what is Drupa able to deliver, what is the job of Drupa in that sense, and what is the market expecting. Yeah. And it's also good when you have this kind of ongoing dialogue I used to have. Then you see there are totally different questions not related to technology, and they have to be answered. And Drupa is a great opportunity as a platform for the whole worldwide industry to support us in that sense. For example, how can I run my business profitable? How can I adopt my go-to-market to the digital age? How to address lucrative market niches and new business areas. Canon is good in answering those questions, by the way, and which added value services are rewarded by the customer. Not only what you have to offer, what is rewarded. And these are, for me, crucial questions, and I expect that Drupa is able to deliver answers, or at least new ideas to come closer to those answers.
Thank you very much for your time, Andreas. Will you join me again on April 23rd, or don't you have time for that?
No, for sure. It's a great pleasure.
Super.
So then, good luck for today. You have a great group of people, and
I hope you
most
will.
of them I know them already, but I'm always curious to experience what they think today and
Fantastic.
what they express.
Fantastic. Thank you, Andreas, and see you soon.